set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. Now when I say the loose cannons, what do you know?
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, and you're watching the Loose Cannons podcast. I am your boy, the Sammer Ali, hanging out with the lovely version of myself that Stank calls Karen Sammer, I guess. Karen Ali. And joined, of course, by finally a co-host who can hang with my knowledge of football. Okay, somebody who can actually stand behind a microphone and speak coherently and deliver actual knowledge. The one, the only Michael Pless of Real Bucs Talk. Before we dive in, make sure you guys hit that like button, leave me a comment, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button. And as always, don't forget to visit our amazing website, loosecannonslive.com, where you can watch or listen to every single episode in our entire history of Loose Cannons legend and lore. And of course, you can also click the members button and join our amazing free Bucs Discord community, or even join our Cannon Cartel, where you get some behind the scenes stuff, some cool perks and things of that nature. And you know, there's some fantasy football leagues going on right now in the Cannon Cartel, and I want to apologize ahead of time. I'm gonna whoop all your ass. So hey, Stank, we have finally made it. Okay, it is officially week 1. We were living in weeks prior. We were living in week 0. And now we have arrived. It is week 1 of the NFL 2025 season. And, you know, it's time. It's time to talk about the Bucs. It's time to talk about the season, okay? I'm just jacked. And so we got Michael Pless on here. Michael Pless, before we even got on here tonight, news hit the fucking every outlet. The one, the only right tackle, Luke Goedeke, the second best tackle in the entire NFL. Only second to, of course, Tristan Wirfs. Signs an extension. He will be a Buc for at least the next 5 seasons. Unbelievable news. The Bucs have an entire offensive line, minus the left guard, who have been completely drafted, cultivated, and paid, outside of Graham Barton, of course, and Cody Mock. But you have guys on either rookie contracts or mega deals for the future. I mean, this is unprecedented. Plus, what do you think of the deal before we even dive into the season preview? Luke Goedeke is a Buc for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, it's what Jason Light does. I mean, it's a good move. It's good value. I think he got, what he deserves, being, I think, the 3rd highest paid right tackle in the league. I mean, it's outstanding. That is something that, Jason just continues to do. He builds his team within, and he's smart about how he goes about his process and making sure he keeps these guys together.
Yeah, what's crazy is that most teams do an offensive line shuffle every year or 2. You almost don't have a choice, because you either got a guy that's long in the tooth that's been there and is a legend, then you're drafting some younger guys, or you lose the guys because you can't afford to keep them, so you got to keep shuffling the deck. The Bucs are looking at possibly this coming draft, drafting their left guard of the future, okay, and having an entire starting 5 that are either on rookie contracts or, like I said, on extensions. And now you have the front 5 solidified for a good chunk, at least a 4-year window, okay? Yep. That's unheard of. So you have an entire unit you don't even have to worry about. We've got the guys, no big deal. Add some depth, add some swing guys. I think Klein's going to end up being a guy that's valuable across multiple spots as a backup at one point or another. The value that brings to how you can draft, how you can pay guys in the future, how you can build the team. Unheard of, unprecedented. Another reason Jason and the boys and the girls up front are absolutely legends at this game. I think it's them, the Eagles, and everybody else at this point. Stank, how happy are you that the fat guys are all happy?
I'm happy. Now pay Cody Mock. You know what I mean? What are you waiting for, Jason? Right? Everybody else is eating good. They're eating fucking at Sizzler tonight. Cody's over there fucking.
You can pay him next year. You can pay him next year. You can wait.
Still eating steakums. Are those still a thing? Is anybody
still? Yeah, but I like having a fat guy who's coming to work hungry every day. Right?
That's true.
There's something about that. You want a hungry fat guy on your team at some point in one of those levels, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but I mean, the Bucs are set right now.
Anybody see that picture of Ali Marpet?
Yeah.
Ew, dude.
Skinny.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You look hungry.
I'm
actually worried about him.
That's his natural form.
No.
After he retired, he had a conversation with with Casey Phillips, and he talked about how in order to play football, he had to have a personal chef to keep him fat. His job was to just stuff him with food all day long, and he said, I hated eating it. I didn't want to be fat. Everything hurt. My body wasn't built to be this big, but I had to be this big to play football, as opposed to some of the other guys who go out of their way to become unfat. This is his natural form, and I'm happy for him, man. I like it.
Remember when Brad Culpepper came out, like, a couple years later, and you're like, ooh, who the hell is that guy?
He wasn't a big dude, though, when he was playing either, though. He was just kind of...
That's true.
He was just big-boned, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was about 280.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized? I got to put my list out this week. The fuck?
Yeah, you do.
It's game week. It's
tomorrow,
really
baby.
Week. I got to put my band list out. Completely forgot.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. All right. Thursday, we got the first game of the NFL season, and Sunday is the Bucs. So let's dive into this. Before we talk about that on Thursday, the Bucs did go through some cuts, had a couple of additions to the roster, and some new guys, new faces finally did make the team, the 53. So we'll start with you, Pless. Who were the surprise cuts that you didn't see coming down the line? And then who were the guys that you were most surprised that ended up making the 53-man roster over maybe other dudes or even guys that are now coming in after those cuts are made across the league?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't too surprised. I mean, obviously, the most surprising was probably Anthony Walker Jr. You know, they brought him in for a reason. They thought he was going to be the depth piece at linebacker, and they end up, just flat out releasing him. And it makes sense because of what John Bullock was able to do as an undrafted free agent, play special teams and be, someone they can count on. So a lot of these cuts came down to special teams, and I think that is cool to see because when you watch the preseason, these guys played much better on special teams, in my opinion, from a return aspect and also in coverage. So, that was a big factor for them. As far as guys who made the team, I wasn't really too surprised. Maybe Cameron Johnson, just because I thought, he didn't have the best of preseason game in that finale, but he showed. But yeah, he dropped a touchdown pass, but he also showed out on special teams, and that's a big thing. Like, he had a good kickoff return, and right now he is the starting returner on both kickoff and punt. So, but other than that, I mean, everything was pretty much, steady. I thought no real shocking moves. The roster was set.
The thing with Cam, I think if McMillan is not on the IR, that spot's not there. And so I think Cam just kind of made it, like you said, because of special teams. If McMillan was healthy, Ryan Miller ends up being the last wide receiver. I was a little bit surprised that Trey Palmer didn't make the team only because they had a little bit of history. They did draft him higher. Usually you have a little bit of a longer leash with guys like that. But you got to be available, and you got to show that you're trying to become available at the same time. And I think ultimately just didn't work out. He's a Saint now, so fuck him. Loved him while he was here, but oh well. Great plays while we had him, but no big deal. But I mean,
do we really love him though?
Not anymore. Not anymore, right? And the one that I thought was a little
we ever truly did love him.
The one I thought was a little surprising was Action Jackson not making the team over Bullock, who does make the team. We still get Jackson back. He makes the practice squad, so we do kind of keep him. But I thought he had a better preseason. But if you went back and watched, I guess Bullock did check off more boxes for them. But I like that one. And then Kamara, I think you had you guys just released a video a couple of days ago or yesterday on that defensive end, the edge rusher that we didn't get a chance to draft, which apparently we did like in the draft process. So he's now kind of possibly in the mix. But other than that, I really didn't see anything that was too surprising. whether they were added or not. But I know Stank Bastard's got a little bit of a memorial that we have to go through tonight. The one, the only Kyle Trask cut. Not just only was he re-signed in the offseason, like they made it a point to get him back. They just straight up cut him. Just see you later. Keep it moving. Give your number to Emeka Egbuka on the way out, and see you fucking later, bro. Like that's how they did him. Stanks. It's been a rough 5, 6, 7 days right now for Stank. It's not been good. The Stank family has been in mourning. Their flag has been lowered. It's been at half mast. It's not usually at full mast anyways because of his age, but nonetheless, Stank, do you want to say a few words to the Trask family and Kyle Trask himself? Kyle is watching tonight. I have it on good authority. He is tuned in, and this is our chance to give him his flowers.
I was with Kyle all week, actually, laying, by his bedside. Has been a rough week, man. And then to just shit on him and just give his number away. Some guy I've never even heard of before. Latte's definitely never heard of him before. He was for draft coverage. Never heard of the guy. All right. And all of a sudden he's this, everybody's talking about Emeka Egbuka, right? And I just didn't I thought it was some shady shit that went on behind the scenes. Wow. And now that I talked to Kyle, me and Kyle together all week, now that I know some inside information, perhaps I'll drop it here at some point. But yeah.
How many embraces were you two in over the weekend?
He's got to think about it.
Man, you're gonna make me cry again. Give me the entire time. What are you talking about?
Wow.
Whenever we're together, dude, it's like fucking we're the best of friends.
Did you guys bond over watching the Florida Gators beat a high school paddleboard team?
That kind of got us back into
pickleball team. Sorry.
Being the dominant Florida college football team.
Go Gators.
Does help.
You beat a team. You beat a team from Long Island.
Hey, how many points did the team you played score on your college football team? Because nobody scored on us yet. We haven't given up a single point.
Yeah. Listen, I think this ultimately came down to his jersey number, if we're going to be honest, okay? Although, Teddy Bridgewater is the more dependable backup quarterback with the experience, obviously.
Is he though? The guy who illegally gives money to the youth out there.
Youth who don't have food. So, yeah, maybe there should be some context.
Does it look like I care?
I'm just saying, if he would have given his number up initially, okay?
Illegal.
If he would have given his number up initially, he might still be on this team. So I think this is a nice lesson in humility and understanding your position and your role. Okay, you hold clipboards on this team, Kyle. You should have given that jersey number off your back before that kid's name was even finished being announced on draft night. Okay, Pless is a Gator fan, and even Pless is not in his head. Pless knows it. That number 2 was always meant for Emeka Egbuka, and now it's rightfully his. And Kyle Trask is gone. Has anyone picked up Kyle Trask?
Right now, he doesn't want to be picked up. That's what he told me.
Wow.
I don't want. You know what? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? He's waiting until the Super Bowl window opens, and then he's going to sign. You think he's going to go and just be somebody's backup?
I mean, it's quite a fall, man. From competing for the starting job 2 seasons ago to unemployed in the NFL. I mean, what? That's the NFL, man. It's 2 sides of a coin. There's no middle ground.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but I kind of heard Baker, was intimidated. And you can't have 2 dogs in the room. Sometimes when you got 2 dogs in the room, it's kind of fucking up the chemistry in the locker room.
You can't even say it without laughing, dude.
No, I'm laughing because it's painful. It's painful. Okay.
I mean, the XFL's out there.
Everybody's talking.
Go play for the Rock. Go play for the now newly, diminished Rock. Go play for that guy. Yeah. He's smaller. His head's gotten a little bit smaller.
Him and Ali Marpet must be eating at the fucking same restaurant, bro. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with these guys?
I mean, Ali Marpet was just a big boy. The Rock was, his steroids were using steroids. But nonetheless, let's move on. Heading into week 1, okay, against Atlanta. I know Pless has some thoughts on this, okay? This is probably a pretty good question to ask. But we're going to start with you, Stan, because you're the worrier on the show. You're the one that's always got something that's got you on the edge of your seat in terms of fear. So as it relates to the roster as is currently constructed,
I'm gonna fear cramp right now.
What are your dislikes and what are your likes on this current 53?
I'm nervous. As you guys know, it's game week and it's just, I don't know, been a little gassy. I've just been thinking about what happened last year. 2 winnable football games I just been replaying it over and over again. Bucky fumbles and somehow, and then we go to overtime.
That's not what I asked you about. I asked you about the roster, currently constructed roster.
Our roster.
What are your dislikes?
The depth on interior defensive line. Don't like it. I wasn't upset they cut any of those guys. I heard that they've been loading boxes with Latte at UPS this week because that's kind of where they deserve to be. I'm worried about our interior line depth. Honestly, I'm worried about our line depth, period, on both sides of the ball, especially with Tristan out. So that's my biggest worry right now, is our line depth. And hopefully we just stay healthy, right? Hopefully we do.
Plus?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like dislikes or concerns, I mean, I would probably agree. I think offensive line depth is definitely a concern, especially if one of your tackles goes down. Then you're looking at Benjamin Chakuma, who showed improvement throughout the preseason, but again, he's so very raw and unexperienced. Elijah Klein as your main interior offensive line backup. I mean, it's okay, but it's not, it's not great. Obviously, they're probably going to call up Michael Jordan, not the basketball player, I wish, but the football player. Yeah, the football player. He'll probably be your ninth offensive lineman that they'll call up.
He didn't look good in his tackle reps.
No, he didn't. He's an interior guy, know, at best. But looking at the defensive line, I mean, I'm not so worried about the interior. I'm more concerned about the edge position because right now it's Yaya and Hassan Reddick. And if one of those guys go down, you're kind of in the same boat as you were last year. I know they're still hoping or holding out hope for Chris Braswell. I'm hoping he picks it up and becomes someone they can count on and be a constant, guy that can bring pressure. Anthony Nelson, you already know what he brings. Like he's just steady Eddie back there, but again, he doesn't offer much from a pass rush standpoint. So
plus I did see JPP was taking pictures outside of the facility this week with one of his donks. Do we read anything into that?
I mean, I would love to see him come back. I mean, honestly, I wish they would go out and contact Zadarius Smith. Like, I wouldn't mind him. Like, he had 9 sacks last year. I think he's a good veteran, someone that they can bring in on a, cheaper contract. And you just know what you're going to get with him. Like, you can just ask that guy to pass rush and just bring something different to back up, Yaya and Hassan Reddick. And it can also allow you to move Yaya inside on pass rush situations. Like if you want to mix things up, formationally or scheme wise, like just gives you another thing to work with. And I just don't know about Braswell yet. I feel like the development still needs to take place and we haven't seen him make that leap that they're hoping for, but who knows? It's preseason. Maybe he turns it on in the regular season and he's a different animal.
I mean, he will be playing next to Kalijah and he will be playing next to Vita, so that might help him out a little bit. You could just get kind of scraps and fall into a few sacks in that way. But I also like Elijah Roberts being able to kind of be that, X factor on a pass rushing down where he doesn't have to do much. He could put him inside. You could have almost like a little bit of a NASCAR package like we had a couple years ago. And if you just ask him to pass rush, I feel like that's still kind of up his alley, even though he's fresh, he's a rookie. But I think some of my concerns would be the safety position, honestly. I don't know what's going on with Izzy. I'm not a big fan of moving a guy like Tyke Smith into a spot where he has to use speed that I don't think he has. And so some of that, anticipation that comes with him naturally at the nickel position is going to bite him in the ass at times at the safety position where he doesn't have the recovery speed to make those, those risk reward type plays. And again, he's going to learn on the fly. It's inexperienced. As good as he is and as much of a ball hawk as he is, that's tough. And he's also shown that he gets nicked up. So when he goes down, what happens then? And Izzy doesn't seem to be practicing yet. That's not a good one. I don't like that. And then, obviously we got Kavon Merriweather back there and this guy named Wisdom.
Your friend, Merriweather.
Yeah, if those dudes are playing, we got problems, okay? Like, I don't want to see those dudes outside of punt return kickoff coverage. And so that's where I'm a little afraid. I don't know what's going to go down there. I don't like that Benjamin Morrison at corner hasn't practiced yet. Yeah. He's not going to play, obviously, this week. What happens when one of the starting corners goes down? They're going to be out there shuffling. And, I mean, I like that Tyke Smith could slide in and play nickel, and Parrish could probably swing back out if Jamel Dean or someone, So there's – but, again, that makes that spot at that safety position a little bit uncomfortable. I don't like it. Some people might talk about the thinness at linebacker, aside from Servassier and Levante. Like, what do we got behind those guys? Like, what's Servassier as a 3-down guy? Are they going to shuffle him on the first couple of downs like they were last year? Who's that guy they're going to do that with? I'm not a big Deion Jordan up the pole running with the tight end guy. I just don't see him doing it very well. So the questions I have are all on that defensive side. Deion Jones, sorry. What did I say? Deion Jordan?
Deion Jordan.
Yeah, well, same shit, dude. Who gives a fuck? If I see his name out there, I'm not happy about it. So, yeah. I mean, those spots in there. But, you know, if the pass rush works, none of those things really matter at that point, right? And to the point you guys are, Stank's point about the edge and your point, you know, if I want one of those guys to be the guy that goes down between Yaya and Reddick, I kind of feel okay if Reddick's the only edge guy because he's at least shown that he can be a dominant edge guy, and he'll still have Vita and Kancey to play off of. Yaya hasn't shown that. That's the biggest problem, I think. And so maybe he comes in, he's got, you know, Hassan teaching him. Maybe they've kind of leveled him up. I know the coaches have been on his ass saying there should be no excuse to not have double-digit sacks with the guys he's playing with. So we'll see. Right. But you know what? They're playing on turf in Atlanta, okay? They got some bad blood. They fucking didn't forget about those 2 losses. Go out there, fucking kick some ass on that fast turf. That might be the answer. And then we'll all feel great. And Stank will stop being worried until next week, and I'll start all over again.
I mean, I think everybody who follows their football team probably has a list of concerns just like this, especially when it comes to depth. Because injuries can run rampant through any team. Look what it did to the Lions last year. Like, they were just a shell of themselves just because they continue to lose bodies, and that could happen to any team. So yeah, those are the worries. But as far as our starting, you know, groups right now, the question marks I think definitely lie more on the defensive side of the ball. You made it clear Servassier is a kind of a question mark, although all we've heard is just rave reviews, and we did get a glimpse of him early in the season last year, but he hasn't proven he can stay healthy. And, you know, we just don't necessarily know what he's going to look like at this point.
I'm curious what you think, Pless, of Justin Simmons as that weird kind of hybrid linebacker, you know, specialist that Todd Bowles seems to like to have on his team. He's available. He's out there. Bucs fans have been talking about this kid forever. He was ridiculous in college. I believe he went to Clemson. I remember, like, he was just awesome to watch. What about adding a guy like that, or is he just kind of still doesn't really do any one thing good enough?
Yeah, I think you're referring to Isaiah Simmons.
Sorry, Isaiah Simmons.
No, it's okay. I mean, Justin Simmons is another one that people have talked about. He's the safety, but yeah, Isaiah, I mean, he's versatile, but I don't know. He's been on a lot of different teams, so I don't know how much they want to bring someone like that in. It obviously hasn't worked where he's been, so, you know, how much are you getting better from that standpoint? But yeah, I mean, I agree with all your guys' concerns. I mean, there's questions at, you know, the depth as far as linebacker safety. I think that is a good point there. And I do feel good about the overall cornerback depth. I think that has improved. I think Kendall Vildor is a big upgrade over what you had last year, especially in that 4th, 5th corner spot. Benjamin Morrison, you know, once he gets on the field, I'm pretty confident he is going to be a stud for this secondary. And again, I don't know like how quickly he starts getting reps as far as, you know, the starting defense. It really depends on how good Jamal Dean plays or doesn't play. But I think Morrison's a guy that will definitely challenge, you know, Dean. And then Jacob Parrish, you know, I think the team is so confident in his ability. He's the starting nickel. And I think they also feel confident that he can play outside if needed. So that versatility, I think, is huge. But, you know, just going back to, you know, the offense, things that I love on the offense is obviously the depth at receiver. I think this is the strongest receiving room we've had, you know. Ever. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, the depth. To have 2 rookies make the team and Tez Johnson and Goedeke, I think that's outstanding. I think, you know, Tez is a guy that they've been looking for. I think they thought they had it in Cam Johnson, but Tez just brings that different gear, like with the ball in his hands, the ability to make guys miss. He's basically Bucky at receiver, but, you know, it's just fun to, you know, have this kind of talent and depth. I think Sterling Shepard being healthy.
Plus, it's that phone booth quickness. Like,
yeah,
good luck. If it's just you and him and you're in the open field, good fucking luck.
It's not even like a straight line 40-yard like it's nothing like that. He's just shifty. He's quick.
It's
he's
a
got
lateral
that,
movement.
Yeah, he's got that stop and go right on the dime that like I don't want to say it because it's fucked up to say, but Barry Sanders-esque almost when he puts that foot down, boom, like he had two guys flying the opposite direction and he did that in preseason.
Right.
I
he
mean,
is absolutely going to take ACLs this year. I promise you he's going to take a couple ACLs.
Yeah.
He may need teardrops.
Well, I think
we should do him as notches on the helmet. We should do him as stickers on the helmet like they do in college.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little broken kneecaps. Cool. Little broken kneecaps.
Kneecap with a little X through it.
Yeah.
Dante Hall's a great example.
Yeah, that is a good example. Yeah. And he was used very specifically and specially like on offense, aside from obviously being a fucking kick and punt returner. But yeah, man, he brings the college football element to your offense in a moment where you don't have Jalin McMillan and you don't have Chris Godwin, but you have a Mecca who's kind of like Chris Godwin, right? He's always got Mike Evans. Now you got this guy you can just kind of toss in the mix. He come out the backfield where he's sitting, next to Baker. No one's going to be thinking about him. End around guy with little middle screens. I love the middle screen with a wide receiver of his size. You can't see him. He can hide. Boom, boom. He's gone. You popped him. Like that's shit that you need to kind of get you to the Chris Godwin is finally back on the field times, right? And maybe Jalin McMillan on top of that. So yeah, phone book speed. Hell yeah. Go ahead, Plus.
Yeah. No, I was just going to add to that. No, I was going to add to that, there's a reason he's 160 pounds. And this is why he can do stuff like we see on the field, because he is that elusive and the agility goes into that because he doesn't carry much weight. Obviously he has that ability to just kind of transport or teleport, to a certain spot. And I think that is very dangerous. And I think it's also, noticeable that they have Cam Johnson as the primary returner instead of Tez Johnson. That just shows that Tez is probably going to be a bigger factor on offense, especially in these first couple of weeks until Chris Godwin does return. And then maybe we shift gears to have Tez as the returner because you just don't want Tez to get hurt on special teams right now. So you want to have a full offense, and I think they feel confident that he can provide. But yeah, those would be my strong points: the receiver and the running back room.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Still feel confident about the receiver room, even though we've lost like two of them.
I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if you do see Tez in a certain punt return situation, maybe at the end of a half, or when you got them kind of in their in the back end of their
Dion roll.
Yeah, no, just if you got somebody punting out of their end zone, that's an easy, good. That's an easy little return opportunity there. Obviously, I don't want him out there too long because again, you can't take shots at your own receiving core at that point. But I was going to ask you, Plus two, that running back room, 4 deep right now, and we haven't even really scratched the surface of this kid that we just got undrafted rookie at LSU. This kid looks every bit the part of a fucking running back, and I don't know how much he's going to play at first unless there's some sort of injury. But man, we've got a dynamic room of running backs who can seemingly do everything. I still think I need to see a little bit more from the pass pro side of things with Tucker, but Williams has shown he can do all these things. Obviously, what Rashad can do, and we know what Bucky can do. And I think the two of them together right now with a very clear understanding and a balance. And I love that Grizzard came from Miami, where he watched McDaniel use 3 running backs fucking seamlessly to where they all got to eat. And that's a big part of it. I don't think Liam knew quite how to balance the 2 guys last year, in my opinion. So it'll be fun to see them utilize them. And man, 4 deep. And then you got the wide receiver room, just all these weapons, dude. Even with the injuries, you still got all these weapons. We haven't even talked about Devin Culp, Cade Otton, who gets a lot of hate. Crash Dummy Otton. That dude is amazing. I mean, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the running back room, I think that's a huge strength. And I agree with you. I think you're going to see a lot more of Sean Tucker. I think you're going to see, more use out of Rachaad White and Bucky Irving, especially in the passing game. We already saw that in the preseason, Bucky catching, a fade touchdown, play, ISO'd, and it's understanding what you have in these guys. And I think, getting them the ball even more in space, last year, our screen game was one of the best in the league, if not the best. It was top notch as far as getting the football to these guys and allowing your offensive linemen to just hunt down people. So I think with those three, you're definitely going to see a lot of the 21 personnel, the pony package. We're definitely going to see that. Maybe we even see some 30 personnel, which I would love to see because that's all three running backs on the field at the same time. I would love it, but maybe run some triple option. I don't know if we can do that with Baker. You don't want to get him in harm's way, but it would
Baker's
be
going to keep the ball. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is Baker won't get rid of that ball, man.
Right.
Plus, how are you feeling about Josh Grizzard? I know we haven't seen any. He's not going to show us anything.
Right.
But I felt like there was a buzz in the air with stupid ass snake ass Liam, and even a little bit of buzz when Dime Piece Dave was in the building. I don't feel buzz. I don't feel buzz with the Grizzard. This is a big test for him this week.
I felt it that first game.
Yeah.
The expectations are high. They weren't for Liam and definitely not for Canales. So the expectations are there that we're going to continue to be this juggernaut on offense, and it's up to him. And even Todd was like, "Yeah, he's got to show what he's got. He's got to prove himself. The real bolts are going to be flying." You cut tape. You watch a lot of things. Are you seeing nuances? Are you seeing stuff that you haven't seen before? Does it look a lot like what we saw in the previous season?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little different in preseason. I mean, they did a lot more condensed formation. So I think that's what you're going to see this year. You're going to see more 12 personnel. You're going to see, the receivers more inward as far as being in those condensed splits where they're not outside the numbers. I think the biggest difference that we're going to see with Grizzard's offense is just the overall spacing and finding ways to get the ball more to Mike Evans and obviously, isolating him more, getting him one-on-one matchups. But at the same time, I think running the football is going to be a big part of it. But with Grizzard, I think, the key that we're going to find out Sunday is like, can he, sequence plays? That's going to be the thing. Can he sequence? I think adjustment wise, I think he'll be fine. I think he can make quick adjustments. It's just, can he come out and find a way to get this offense to start fast like we saw under Liam Coen and put, points on the board, get the defense the lead. That's going to be key. And then hopefully, guys can stay healthy on both sides of the ball and we can play how we're supposed to play, schematically as far as the defense and offense goes.
Yeah, I was going to say the one thing plus I do want to see is forcing the defense to have to play back as opposed to knowing who they're going to bracket. When you put a Mike Evans in a bunch formation and you got a Tez behind him or an Emeka next to him, you can't bracket a guy. You got to make everyone communicate, and you're going to create a one-on-one or even a guy that's just not even covered at that point, as opposed to just putting them out at X and Y. Here's your guys. You know who you're covering. When you bunch them up like that, I think that's what creates chaos, and especially if you have guys that talented, the chaos just multiplies, and you have splash plays that I don't think Liam and even going back to Dave Canales, we didn't do that enough. We were too transparent with how we were allowing the defenses to cover and bracket and double and kind of shade towards Mike or Chris, whoever was in the game at that time. And it just made it too simple. You put him in those bunches or you put Mike in the slot, probably more than he's going to be playing there more than he's played in a while. That's going to be a disadvantage for every defense you play because you just don't know what you're going to do there and you have to commit or not commit. I think that's the difference we're going to get from Grizzard, honestly. And I think that creativity is going to just make things a lot easier for these guys. You're going to see a lot of open guys compared to last year, in my opinion, with Tez and Emeka, guys crossing across, the defensive alignments and everything like that. It's just because of those bunches and things. That's going to be the funnest thing to watch. And imagine when you can do that and then you can just hand the ball off to Bucky or Rashad out of the backfield. I mean, dude, it's almost unfair. Even without Chris and Jalin McMillan, it's just ridiculous.
I mean, there's no reason this guy, he's got all these weapons at his disposal. I kind of liken, being an offensive coordinator to like being a DJ. Okay. You got all the songs in front of you. Are you a rhythmic person, right? Do you like to go up tempo, down tempo? Once you're feeling it, what are you playing? What are you going with? I felt like with Canales, we knew eventually what he was playing every day. He played the hits. You knew he was getting third and manageable. That was his deal, right? And with Liam, a little bit unpredictable at first, but eventually you knew the underneath stuff was our bread and butter. You knew what he's going to play. Every set was going to be very similar to the next. And obviously injuries took its toll and he kind of had to play with what he had. So, but what's Josh? Who is this guy? Right? What is he like?
Is he a Motown guy?
Is he a Motown guy? Is he aggressive? All right. Are we gonna get some drum and bass in there, or is it just gonna be because he's kind of like a hick in a way? Is it just gonna be some banjo shit? I don't know. And I'm kind of excited in a way to see what he brings to the table because he's just low key. He's just laid back. Josh Kazar right now, but pressure's on, Josh. You got to do this shit. I'm still not confident that we can stop anybody, right? That's my PTSD. I still feel like Atlanta's going to put 40 on us and we need to outscore them just because of what happened last year, right? I feel like Penix is going to come out limp and not play well, and Kirk Cousins is going to come out in the second quarter, and I'm going to shit my pants. Okay, so I'm a little
you will shit your pants, but
I will. There's a good chance I might shit
Kirk
my pants.
Cousins not happening.
Especially
if you're going to shit your pants regardless.
If in the third quarter Kirk Cousins is out there warming up, I'm scared.
Stank, okay? right now, you're currently wearing lightly shat pants. I mean, the level of soiled your pants are right now, probably 35-40%.
Yeah, at my age, you can keep wiping, bro. It's kind of like a marker. You just at some point you're like, okay, dude, enough. And you just got to move on with your day.
Yeah, move on with your day. That's why you need to get a bidet. Speaking of which, I don't even know how to transition from that, honestly. We'll start with you again, Pless. Curious who you think will be the Bucs' offensive MVP. A lot of firepower. You obviously got Baker, who's fucking showing that he can be top 5 in the NFL in passing yards, touchdowns. He can just lead the league. Could be in the MVP conversation for the entire NFL, not just his team. But curious who you think could be the Bucs' 2025 offensive MVP with the currently stacked roster right now.
Yeah, I think, the easy answer is to go with Baker Mayfield. The team needs him to play well, especially if, they go where they want to go. But I am going to go a different route. I'm going to say Mike Evans. I think Mike has an opportunity to have the season like he did in 2023. I think he's going to be heavily involved. I think the touchdowns are going to be there. And I think they're going to find a way to get him the ball down the field. I think you're going to see more of a vertical aspect where he's getting not only catches, but yards after the catch. We saw some of that last year, but I think you're going to see a improvement there, especially with maybe not so early on, but as the season gets going, I think he's going to be just a dominant player. And I think he could have a top 5 receiver season this year.
Wow. Stank.
Yeah, Plus going out on a limb.
Stank.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
What was the question?
The Bucs offensive MVP.
That's a tough one, Sammer. With all the injuries we have right now, man, I don't know. Who can we count on right now? Oh, Bucky Irving. Okay. The Teflon Don. That guy he does everything well. He does everything well. He can catch. We saw him catch a beautiful touchdown in the end zone. People were questioning his catching ability. He showed you that. You don't think he can block, right? Because he's so small. But size doesn't matter, as we all know. And that guy gets the job done. All right. He really is a poster child for size doesn't matter. He's incredible. He's my favorite player on the team right now. Sorry, Rashad. And I just absolutely think we get on Bucky's back and we ride.
I think Baker is the easy answer, and I think Baker is most likely what's going to happen. But if I had to choose somebody else, I'm going to choose Emeka. And because of all the reasons that you listed, Mike, the defense
just be open.
Yeah, the defense will have no choice but to shade to Mike. That's just the nature of the business with the guy like that, his ability to go down the field, his ability to make 50-50 type catches. Emeka brings something that we really haven't seen in a little bit. And this is no shade on Chris Godwin, but his yak ability is something special. Even for a guy who is, again, not a fast guy on tape numbers wise, but he plays football fast. And he's already seemingly fits into the scheme, knows where he's supposed to be. Baker's really comfortable throwing the ball where he should be, and he's always proven to be in that spot. And I think he's going to eat early. And he's going to be in that offensive rookie of the year conversation the entire season, but he's going to be the one who's going to benefit the most from Mike. And then once that happens, there's going to be a transition at some point in the season where they're going to be like, holy shit, we have to do something and game plan for this kid now. And that's going to only make Mike's job even easier. And again, that makes him the offensive MVP because he's allowing a Mike Evans to have an even easier time when it's already too easy for him as his current skill set. So I think Emeka, he's hyped up as like we're all talking about this kid. And even then, I still think he's still under the radar because of what he's going to be able to do without a Chris Godwin on the field. Chris Godwin last year in that spot, coming out of the slot, and functioning kind of as the dirty guy, was absolutely dominating before that injury. You bring in a guy like Emeka who's younger, who can do the same things and is already a pro's pro, reminds me a lot of Chris Godwin. I mean, there's no reason to not think he's going to do the same fucking kind of thing, if not more, because they have even more, games under their belt. Grizzard is, I think, a little bit more creative and more of a genius than dumbface Liam. So this is going to be a different but better offense, and they're going to go down the field. Go watch Emeka at Ohio State. The dude was always the guy they went to when they needed to play. Even with the studs that they had there, he was still the guy they went to. And that means he's dependable and professional and just he's always there. That's going to be huge.
Is he professional?
He is professional.
Right. I don't know about that.
He took his number back.
We know what 9 can do. I don't know what 2 can do. As a matter of fact, have you considered that Baker's going to be throwing to 2? He's used to that being Kyle. He's like, he's going to see 2 running around out there. He's going to be like, no, I'm going to 15. Right? Have you considered numerology here? This guy's obviously his character has to be called into question right now. He did my boy dirty for the number. We don't know what we got. We don't know what number 2 can do. I knew 9 was good. Not too sure about 2.
Wow.
I love the jersey changes, by the way. I think I'm excited about, Tez obviously getting 15, Jalin getting 11, which was his college number. The only slight disappointment I have is 92 and Riley Dixon. I was hoping he would have kept it, but I also appreciate number 9 for punters because Buccaneers had to have some good punters as far as wearing number 9 historically with Tom Tupa, Josh Bidwell, Bidwell, Michael Kanan as well. So, I mean, it's been a good one. I think Brian Anger might have worn 9 as well, but I'm not sure.
I don't like Brian Anger. Don't like him. I don't think he knew how to hold for field goal kicker, and that's what was going on the whole time. But
that could be.
So we gave our offensive MVP. So now we'll start with you, Stank. Defensive MVPs.
Kalijah Kancey.
Wow,
that's a good answer.
That's it.
All right. Listen, I've been saying it since last year. Unfortunately, he can't stay healthy. It's Kalijah Kancey. The superstar on this defense outside of Antoine Winfield is Kalijah Kancey. And I love Vita Vea, but it's Kalijah Kancey. This guy should ascend to where he belongs as just an absolute dominant interior presence, just impossible to block, a pass rusher up the middle, something we haven't seen since the days of, the original 93. Dan Cilio. I mean, you know who I'm talking about, right? We need that kind of sack numbers from the middle because we don't know what we're getting from the outside. We're still dominant in the middle, and I feel like it's Kalijah's time. This is his season, and I'll be disappointed in Kalijah if he doesn't at least get to 10 sacks or more. Kalijah Kancey's my answer.
Wow. Plus, before you give your answer, Mudfish Matt just gave out 5 Loose Cannons podcast memberships. Okay, so congratulations to those 5 people who are now members. Courtesy of Mudfish Matt, who is a OG to the show and to the channel. So ridiculous. That is awesome.
Look at Corey Richardson getting something else for free.
Yeah, always. He's always in the right place at the right time for free. Always getting something for free.
Unbelievable, dude.
Plus, who could possibly be the Bucs 2025 defensive MVP?
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb again, and I'm going to say Servassier Dennis. I think this guy has to come in and play well. I think when you look at the Bucs defense last year, the middle of the field was a big issue. And I think if you have Servassier, tune that up and make that somewhere where the opposing offense can't go to time and time again, and you have it covered, I think Servassier is going to have a really good season and hopefully become a linebacker that this team can count on going into the future.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it makes sense. And if he doesn't play well, he's the opposite of whatever the MVP is. He's the the SVP, the shit, or the least valuable, shittiest, non-valuable, whatever it is. Mine is probably not very shocking, honestly, but Hassan Reddick. I think Hassan Reddick is going to prove to be the kind of edge rusher that a guy like Vita Vea and a guy like Kalijah Cansey are going to just feed sacks to, and the guy that they'll be able to most play off of because his ability to kind of get around that edge and collapse from the outside in, these guys have only one place to go at that point, and that's step forward in the pocket. Very rare opportunity to be able to step forward in the Bucs pocket. Even with what we've had shortcoming-wise on the edges, you still can't step forward. You got a guy in Vita Vea and a guy in Kalijah who just don't allow that to happen. And so they're naturally going to be there to clean up a lot of sacks. And I think Hassan is going to kind of force the offense to have to pick and choose how they do things, how long they decide to send receivers out, because they're only going to have so much time and that pocket's going to collapse. And I think he's going to be the MVP on the defensive side of the ball. And that doesn't mean that a guy like Parrish isn't going to be someone that we're all talking about, who I think is going to be in the defensive rookie of the year conversation just because of the dog that's in this kid. The Rondé Barber-esque feel that you get from him, dude, is just unreal. I mean, he could have a Donnie Abraham kind of season on a team that has a guy like Antoine Winfield Jr. and a guy like Tyke Smith out there. So we'll see. And I think the secondary guys are going to have a lot of opportunities compared to the last 2 or 3 years, because the defensive line, I think, in my opinion, is really they're going to step up. And I think it's all going to come down to Hassan Reddick being able to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if Yaya steps his game up as well, because he's going to learn a lot from him. And remember, Reddick is not only on a prove-it deal, he's also on a bit of a revenge tour. He's playing a lot of former teams, guys that have written him off, teams that have told him to kick rocks. I mean, he's going to have himself a little bit of a revenge tour on top of the fact that he's trying to earn a fucking contract that he's not been able to earn for 2 years, seemingly. So I feel like I got to put all my chips on a guy like that who's got that giant chip on his shoulder. Another Shaq Barrett type of signing, but I think this could end up being like a Simeon Rice type of guy at the end of it all. So now my answer for that would be Hassan Reddick, man.
Sammer, you brought up pressure of the middle, and I'm going to go with Plesser's choice. People forget Savassi Dennis is a hell of a blitzing linebacker.
Yeah, he is.
That guy can actually rush the passer a little bit.
Yeah.
It was one of the things that first popped off the tape when I was watching a lot of tape on that guy. Anyways, yeah, I remember how much pressure and how good of a sack artist he can be. I don't know if he has any type of edge ability.
Are you a sack artist?
Yeah, bro. I'm fucking good with the sack, dude.
I feel like if I gave you a pen and a pad, you could draw me a good sack. You're a hell of a sack artist.
Bro, you haven't seen me on the whiteboard. I'm a fucking animal.
Sack animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just going to say with Savassi, I think it just allows, Levante to take, more pressure off of him, allow him to play more in coverage, because Levante was doing a lot of the blitzing last year. And I think that he can do it, but I think his ability to be back in the middle of the field allows someone else to do those blitzes where Savassi can, and he does it well. I think it just gives your defense more of a unpredictable look, and allows you to do more things, because when Levante does go in, then you're like, oh shit, it's surprising. Like, oh, we got pressure here.
Yeah, the other thing too, I prefer a guy like Levante back there because he can diagnose better, in my opinion. So while he may have lost a step or two here and there, his brain hasn't. It reminds me a lot of Derek Brooks and his ability to still be at the right place at the right time, because he's seeing stuff happening. You could see him diagnosing screens before they're even mapped out and happening. You could see him hitting the hole before even the linemen get to that hole. I mean, he's beating guys to the handoff sometimes. And in his I don't even know how many years he's been in the fucking league. What is it, 13 years or something like that? What is it?
14 years. I think it's his 14th year this year. So.
That's crazy. He's still doing all these things mentally that I would prefer to be the guy on the back end, and a guy like Servassier who's faster, more agile, just go in and get that sack. And like you said, when you put them both in that one spot right there on that fake blitz, whether they're dropping or not, that's fear, man. That's fear for the offense. And we can all probably agree that special teams MVP is going to be a guy named Tez Johnson. We can all just agree across the board here. Tez Johnson, special teams MVP. Stank, maybe you like Dixon?
No, I don't. I'm a Dick's off guy.
Dick's off. Okay.
I don't gloss kickers and punters here, right? Not on this podcast.
The only guy, it's the only one we know the name of.
I feel like you've gotten a little excited this year. A little excited.
His name is Dixon. I mean, how could you not get excited for that, right? I mean,
you know what? Maybe he's Mr. August. Maybe
week
he's
3
good in the preseason, and in the regular season, he's going to be like all the other stupid fucking punters.
He beat us for an entire week in week 3, okay? And the Bucs say, no, fuck it. Let's just go bring him in. Stank, here's the thing. Here's a bigger question. Week 3 against the Jets, are you and I starting the Dicks on chant at Raymond James?
Clap, clap.
Dicks on. Diggs on.
Yeah, we're getting that going.
We have to.
We're getting that going. You know what I like about this defense is this is the hands-on balls crew, right? We've got guys who just have ball skills out there, right? We've seen a lot of interceptions, a lot of tight coverage, and we've got crafty guys. Like nobody's more craftier than Antoine out there with taking the ball away, with punching it out. You know, I don't know. That's what I'm hopeful for, that this young group of guys, you know, mixed with some of the older vets,
Get their hands on balls.
especially if we get a pass rush, what are we going to do with ourselves if we're out there like, you know?
Don Abraham said it best. He said, when I knew my 4 guys were going to get there, it allowed me to take chances, to jump routes, because I knew the ball had to come out. Whether it got thrown or not, I was always going to be in that spot because I knew I had to jump because the ball had to come out. That's going to be massive. That's going to be the biggest change, I think. I think comparing, you know, covering a guy for 2-3 seconds versus 7, you're not going to win as a defense. You're just not going to. Guys are going to get open. You're at a disadvantage as a defense, so it's just going to happen. We will end the show with one more segment. We'll start with you, Pless. The season, you know, give me maybe an individual player or a team-wide bold take for the 2025 Buccaneers.
Okay. I'll do both, and I'll do them quick. Player Bucky Irving, I think, is going to get 2,000 yards total from line of scrimmage. I think he's going to get that mark. And then team-wise, I think the Bucs will go undefeated in the NFC South this year. I think 6-0 in the division. And I really think they should. That's not a huge bold take, but that's what I feel. I think they'll run the table.
Stank?
Baker Mayfield MVP. I feel like he's got that in him. He will eventually have all his toys back to play with. I feel like he has that capability to have an MVP type season. And if we do what Pless just says and we go undefeated in our division, we're going to have some serious momentum going into the playoffs. And hopefully we do it with some health, right? We get in there and we just have our weapons at our disposal, and we can play on an even playing field when we get into the playoffs. But right. I feel like he's capable of winning the MVP. He's got a different kind of confidence to him. It's not cockiness anymore. He knows how good he is. He knows how good he can be. And I think he's just scratching the surface of the player he could be out there. I'm okay with the gunslinger. I'm okay with him making mistakes here and there, but I think he knows the holes in his game. And I feel like Baker's going to have an MVP season.
I think team-wise, we end up being the number 2 seed in the NFC playoffs. And I think that's only because we end up losing that game in Detroit. I think that ends up being a tiebreaker of some sort. But I don't think Detroit will be the number 1 seed either. So I think it just ends up being another scenario than the team. But in terms of players, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit, Pless, but I think between Bucky and Rashad, I think we get 3,000 plus yards out of these 2 backs. Whether, you know, one of them is majority on the ground, one of them is majority in the air. I think just between the 2 of them, people are kind of writing Rashad off because he's now RB2, but the dude's in a contract year. And he's also got a more, I think, balanced offensive coordinator in terms of understanding how to utilize his skill set, how to get him the ball, how to call screens more. As good as they were at running the screens last year, I still don't think they ran them enough. I still don't think they used them when they should have used them as often as you would expect them to kind of slow down certain things on the defense. So I think with that being said, Rashad's going to get a lot of chances. And he's going to get a lot of chances to run behind an offensive line that's blocking a scheme that fits his running style, as opposed to what they were trying to do earlier last season, which was different between the 2 guys. And, you know, it just didn't fit. It felt too much like a square getting shoved into a circle hole or whatever the fucking thing is. Okay. I can never get that. Whatever that peg hole
I
thing
knew
is.
you were the struggle with geometry guy, but it's okay.
I'm good at geometry. I just don't know that phrase. I'm not a good phrase guy. Not a good phrase guy. But nonetheless, I think my individual bold take would be that Bucky and Rashad are going to combine for over 3,000 total yards for this offense, which is crazy considering the weapons that they have on the outside. But I mean, it's all going to flow through Baker, and Baker he's in a position where he just has to get the ball to his guys. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to carry it on his back. When he is going to do that, it's going to be certain moments, and he's just so good at when those moments are needed. You got that play against Bosa last year. We saw him carry the team against the Lions while he was getting sacked 85 fucking times by you know, when his right tackle's not playing in the game. I mean, we've seen these moments happen before with him. I think he has it in him. And I'm with you, Stank. I would not be shocked if we finally get an MVP in Tampa Bay in red and pewter. That would be special. Pless, amazing first show of the first week of the NFL season. Let people know where they can get more of you and actual like film study, because we don't do any of that shit here. We don't want to even pretend and try. We'll have you do it one day, maybe. Who knows? But let people know where they can get more of you and your not so bold but very bold takes.
Yeah, I'll add one more. I think the defense gets 25 interceptions this year. I think that is something they can get, especially from 7 to 25. I think that's a big leap. But yeah, catch us at Real Bucs Talk. We're doing a lot of exciting stuff over there. You can find us on YouTube. You can also check out our Substack. We have a Substack now that offers exclusive film studies. So we're going to try to broaden a little bit more, do a little bit more NFL, film studies around the league, and then also Buccaneers. It'll be mainly Buccaneers centric, but you can catch us there, and then also on YouTube, Real Bucs Talk.
Awesome. And of course, as always, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. I mean, this is one of our best shows ever recently, especially. So you definitely got to hit that subscribe button if you're new, and leave us a comment. Answer some of the questions we talked about tonight. And of course, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or any audio podcast platform of your choosing. Or you could just head over to loosecannonslive.com and listen directly on our website, or watch directly on our website. And of course, this year, we have an amazing new feature, which is the voicemail line directly from our website. Click a button, record it, and it goes right to Stank's inbox. And he'll have to listen to it every morning while he's taking a dump. So you could yell at him. Okay, you could cuss him out. You could tell him he's stupid. You could tell him how dumb his face and his beard look. Make fun of the way he smokes Slim Jims and doesn't use matches. Whatever it is, get it off your chest by clicking a button on our website, loosecannonslive.com. Leave us a voicemail. We will be using the voicemails this year every Friday with a Fan Friday episode that's going to feature you guys answering a specific question or just getting shit off your chest. So after the game, or even at halftime, fuck it. At halftime, go in there, leave us a voicemail. And of course, don't forget to join us on our free Discord community and the Cannon Cartel, which is a paid membership, but you get a bunch of cool behind the scenes shit and perks and, stuff that nobody else gets to see. So check all that out. Plus, thank you so much. Make sure you guys show love to Pless and Real Bucs Talk, of course. And Stank, go fuck yourself.
You want to talk to me?